Hello and welcome to this comprehensive tutorial on using MT5. We're going to look at charting, symbols, scripts and advisors, along with a range of other cool little tips and tricks to help you trade and use the platform more effectively. Let's dive right in. We've got the chart area, which is usually this whole section here. The windows act very much like any other program, so you can make it large. If you double click down here on the tabs, we can then bring up a multi-view and move these around as we please, which is very handy. We can also change any chart to another symbol. So we just drag and drop it into the chart to make it that symbol. Ensuring the right chart is selected, we can easily change the time frames by selecting these M5, M1, D1, W1, MN. So it goes from 1 minute all the way to 1 month in terms of what the candle represents. If you can't see this area, you can right click on these dots here. You can add line studies. You can customize it completely. So you can add a range of different elements, rectangles, Fibonacci's. So you can actually have those in the clickable list here. So it's easy to drag and drop. As you can see here, you can draw a horizontal line quite easily. Same with vertical and trend lines as well. So you just click and then drag and then let your mouse go. To remove it, you can right click if it's selected and then go delete. If it is not selected, so we'll see these squares move. So let's say we unselect all, we can see the squares are now gone. We do have to double click to get the little squares indicating that it's selected and then right click to delete it if we choose to. We can see all of our symbols here. If you can't see many or you can only see 4, you right click and then go show all. It'll bring up every symbol that's available to you. Oftentimes you don't want all the symbols that are available because you probably don't trade them all. So I do prefer to remove a range of them. So if I click and then I hit delete or hold it, I can get rid of a huge range of these symbols, or I can go right click anywhere in the market watch and then hide all, and then it will only show me the symbols that I have open in charts. So we can see all the tabs down the bottom. We've got a huge range of different charts, so it won't remove the charts that you have open because they stay in the market watch. Now just quickly, I'll show you some shortcuts. So to add or remove the market watch, which is this section here, we can go Control M, and we can toggle it on and off. Same with the navigator, so Control N for navigator. We can add and remove that, and the toolbox as well. So we can add and remove the toolbox with Control T, and that'll toggle it on and off. In the navigator section, we've got the accounts that we have. We can toggle between the accounts that we want to use and trade on. We've got a range of indicators that we can click the plus and then drag and drop them onto the chart quite easily. So if we want this trend indicator, average directional movement index, we just simply adjust the levels if we need to and hit OK. We can see that has created a new window. We can even drag indicators into these areas as well, and that will show us where we stand on the single window, so they don't always have to be on the pricing chart itself. So you can do a range of cool things with regards to that. Same goes for expert advisors, so you can open it up, make sure it's on the minus so that it's expanded, and you can simply drag and drop those onto the chart, ensure the settings are correct, and then to actually algo trade or let them run, you need to have algo trading on. So I'll just show you what that looks like. It's a red square now, which means it's off. Turn that on, it's got a green play button, so I can toggle that on and off. This little button here brings up the ticker so that you can buy and sell easily. If you do have one-click trading on, that is an easier way to get in and out quickly. However, if you do misclick, it could take you into a trade that you didn't want to be in. So just be aware of that. To remove a chart, you can either click the X or go down here, for example, on your tabs, right-click, and you can close. And that will remove charts that you don't want to have open. In your symbols, an important thing to do is check the swap fees and various other information. So you can right click on the symbol that you want to trade, you can go specification, and that will bring up a range of information. So we know this one's a currency, it's got 5 digits, the contract size is 100,000 euro to one full lot. So if you trade one lot, it's 100,000 euro. If you trade 0.1, it's going to be 10,000 euro. Something I often like to check is the swap long and short. So a negative swap means that you will get paid for holding a long position, and a positive number is the charge that you will see comparative to the lots that you are trading, and that's how much you would receive on a daily basis. We've got the rates adjustment here, so Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday are all 1 times. However, on the Wednesday we have a 3-day swap, which is to account for the weekend. Now, different brokers have different 3-day swap rates, and when they charge them, it could be a Thursday or a Friday. It's important to know when you're going to either be charged or get paid the 3-day swap if you're looking to get in and out of a position but hold it over a couple of days. You've also got the session times when the market is active. As you can see here, it's basically 24 hours a day, Monday through to Friday. Another good one for programmatic traders or algorithmic traders, the minimal volume, the maximum volume, and the volume step is important, because for index, rather than 0.01, it's actually 0.1. So it's an important thing to note when you're coding an algorithm to make sure that you're not going to try and trade 0.15, for example, because it will get disallowed and the algorithm basically won't work. We've also got scripts that we can drag and drop onto the chart. So the cam level updater, which puts the cam levels for each new day, you can just simply drag and drop that onto the chart and it puts the levels or whatever the script is programmed to do. That's how it will work. If you're not seeing anything in the navigator, it could be because you're in the favorites tab. So always check to make sure that you've got the common section open in the navigator. For Market Watch, I don't tend to use the details, trading or ticks area. I generally just use the symbols page. If you're looking to code, you can hit the IDE and that pulls up the coding editor program so that you can start creating scripts and expert advisors and perhaps edit them if you've already got scripts and expert advisors set up. Down in the toolbox, we've got the trade tab, which shows all of the pending orders below the balance and all open orders above the balance. You've got your trading history, so you can see your trading history. You can adjust that based on the time frame you want to see, and you can even get a report to show what's actually happened in the period that you're referring to. This section is excellent for when you want to do your taxes and you need all the information relevant to that tax year. Experts is a good tab if you've got experts advisors running, because it will print information and provide information that the experts are doing, such as trades, errors and that kind of thing, as well as the journal tab. The journal tab will also provide you with different errors and information as to why something may not be working. Down here we've got the traffic and ping, and we can see that there's a 200 millisecond ping, which basically means there's a delay of 200 milliseconds, and we've got internet as per the traffic. If this is 0 and shows as a different color, a 0 ms, it may mean that you don't have internet or you're not logged in. To check if you're logged in or not, check the journal and see if there's anything relating to your login, and perhaps it's a bad password, username, or internet connection. So lots of information in the journal and experts tab, as well as the trade and history. Up in tools, go options. We've got a range of chart requirements here. Trade. In trade, we've got the one-click trading, which you can toggle on and off. One-click trading basically means that if I click this button, buy or sell, it will take me straight into the market, and I can also drag and drop stop loss and target profit lines without having to confirm them each time. If I don't have one-click trading on, I basically need to use the new order ticket and fill out a ticket completely in order to place or amend orders. Expert advisors, this part is important when you are using EAs, because you often need to allow a web request so that the EA can connect and talk to the server that relates to that expert advisor and get relevant information for it. You can set up notifications as well, so that you can get notified in your Metatrader mobile app. So if you're out and about, if you tick enable push notifications, you can then see when your trades are placed or closed or amended as well. You can even set alerts to be actually sent to you outside of trade notifications when you code an EA or script yourself. Note that in view and depth of market, you've got a range of information here. I'm just going to open it up. We can see here that there is a depth of market shown. However, it is important to note that this is simply the broker depth. It is not the whole market. So your broker is only reading a small client base of the total market. In order to get real depth of market that actually means something to the market itself, it's important to see the whole picture. The depth of market in MT5, particularly with a single broker, is going to likely give you false signals and misinformation comparatively to the entire market, simply because their liquidity pool is based on their client book. In effect, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of brokers around the place with a lot of clients and a lot of volume going through, not to mention the institutional players that aren't using MT5 altogether, that any other depth of market or volume going in and out of the market will not be seen. So be careful with depth of market in MT5. If we go Control R, it'll bring up the strategy tester. This is where you can run algorithms and test them. So I've got GPT Extended EX5. This is an algorithm that I've written and am currently testing. And in the settings, we've got all of these settings laid out. You can click IDE to go and amend or check the code. You've got a range of settings here which you can use as well, but I'm just going to hit start and show you what the result is. So in graph, it should start to show, here we go, the trades that are coming through, and the times down the bottom. Here's your profit and loss, your starting point here. So as that plays out, we can see what's actually happening in the trading history, so we can make an assessment as to whether the algo is worthwhile looking at further or not. You can see here it should take about a minute to complete, according to this estimate. We've also got in the journal the actual information. So if you put print statements in the code, you'll see that. You can also see the take profit, the placing of positions. The print statements are really good for bug checking. I've also got a pass and fail tally code line that tells me at the end whether I would have passed or failed and how many times throughout the test. So you can see here I would have passed an FTMO, for example, 40 times. However, I would have failed about 25 times over that whole period. This was from 2023 January to 2024 December, just before Christmas. If we go back test, it shows us a report of all of the information. So we can see history quality is 99%, which is quite good. Total net profit, gross loss, and a range of other statistics. So we can see here it's a long only, simply because there's no short trades being placed. And we've got a 57% win rate. We've also got a range of other averages, maximal averages, consecutive wins, that kind of thing as well. As I scroll down, we've got entries by weekday, entries by month, profit and losses by weekdays. Now, be careful with this. Thursday looks like a great day. However, this is based on when the trade is closed, not by when it's opened. Sometimes you don't necessarily have control over when you're going to close the trade, because it's more based on price. So some of these Thursday trades may have been placed on Wednesday or even Monday. By only trading on a Thursday, this may not actually look like this in terms of the profit and loss, because it's based on when the trade closes. So you've got to be wary of that. There is a tool that allows you to check the P&L based on when the trade is placed rather than exited. And then also you've got your profit and loss by hours over here too. So the first hour, 15th hour, so that'll be close to the US session, 15 to 17. At 16:30, I believe the US session starts. A lot of trades going in pre-market comparatively to the London session, which opens at 10 o'clock. So this is very much the Asian session. We've got P&L by month as well, so we can see here that the only losing month was February and also June. The rest of the months appear to be reasonably positive, and then you've got a range of other graphs as well. Tons of statistics and information here that you can generate and learn about the market and your algorithms very quickly. So for any new traders that do have the ability to code or can use ChatGPT to help them generate the majority of the code, it could be a good way to understand what's working and what doesn't in the markets, because you get a long-term view rather than single trade outcomes. And trading is essentially a long-term concept. I'll just quickly show you the new order button. You've got the symbol up here, so make sure you've got the right symbol selected. You've got either market execution, which takes you straight into a trade, or a pending order. You've got a range of different pending order types, such as limits, stops, and stop limit. A limit order, either buy or sell. Buy or sell determines the direction you want to end up being in, and limit or stop determines what position the price is comparative to where you are now, where you want to get in. So a limit is a bounce. So if it's a buy, I want it to bounce down away from my target to take me in, and then it'll bounce back up and turn around off that movement. Whereas a buy or sell stop, I'm looking from where price is right now, I'm looking to have an entry somewhere between the current price and my target, so somewhere in that space. So basically we're looking for a straight through movement that powers on through and doesn't sort of turn around or anything, whereas the limit is a bounce or a turnaround of some point compared to where price is now. So you've got the volume, very important to check your volume because that is effectively your risk in conjunction with your stop loss. You've got the price you want to get in at if you've got the pending order, and as well as a take profit. Market execution only has the volume, stop loss and take profit, so it's much easier. And you can also add a comment. So for example, if you have a strategy that you're using and you're trading it manually, you can enter a comment, and then that way later on you can actually see some of the statistics of how that specific trade setup has performed. And then you simply hit buy or sell.
If you enjoyed this video or took something positive from it, please hit the like button below. It lets me know this is helping others. To see more great content like this, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and stay updated with the latest.